Just making sure I look alright. Ah, that'll do. Anyway, I'm on Wyburn. Just been to see a family. Because looking after a guy, a man off an ear. And we do quite a lot of families on Wyburn. It's a lovely place. Some right decent people on here. I know there's some scroats, there is everywhere. You get scroats at Millhouses and Totley and Ranmore. They're just a better class of scroat. They can talk better and have better solicitors to get them off, unlike us on council estates. Anyway, back to this. I've just met a family. I'm not going to go into too much detail. People say I'm barbaric. I've looked after more people in the course of my job that's been murdered than anything, and it sickens me every time I meet a family who's lost a loved one due to being murdered. I can't tell you how sickening it is, because there's nothing you can say to them. There's nothing at all. And it drains me, absolutely drains me. And people say, when I tell them, because I am quite outspoken, take my glasses off, I am quite outspoken, and I believe, well, I used to believe in capital and corporal punishment. Whip the bastards, I used to think, whip them to fucking death, take skin off the back. They'll not come back for another dose of that. But then I think, that's a bit too good for them now, letting them swing. Definitely. I think if they take a life, this is what I think. I'd love to go for stand for power. Local MP in Sheffield, the Undertaker MP. Because what I'd say is this, it's quite simple. If you take a life, I believe that we should put them in a one of them what carry shit round on farms and take them up to Knowsley. Up at Knowsley there's a safari park, and in that safari park there's some lions. And I think if you take a life, that's what should happen. They should take you up to Knowsley Safari Park and throw you into lioning cage. That's what they should do with you. Not a problem. Well, who'd do that? Who could be as horrible? I could. Seriously. Wouldn't bother me at all. I think they should film it and all. They should put it on calendar every night at 6 o'clock, 6:30. Oh, today we've got these 4 going up to Knowsley to keep the lions fed and happy. Bit of exercise for lions, running around, chasing them, ripping them to pieces. It'd be a right good thing. Because when I go out and I meet a family, through no fault of their own, the loved ones taken away, and it's unbelievable. You can feel grief in an house. Sounds mad, doesn't it? But it's true. And any undertaker that's following me on YouTube will tell you the same. You can actually, grief, you can feel it. You don't have to walk into a room to know that there's grief in that room. It hits you. It hits me like a fucking brick. And what can you say? But we're going to give that gentleman on Wyburn the best send-off. So we give everybody a good send-off, but how his wife and family's coming to terms and trying to deal with that, I'll never know. So, and I'm really fortunate because that family wanted me, and it is an absolute and utter honour when they say, yeah, we want him, because he's just normal, he's just like us, he just says it as it is, he doesn't hold back, That's what families want. It's 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, fucking 8 o'clock. I'm doing it again with that 1800 on this car. All that money this Range Rover costs, and it's got wrong clock in it. Fucking nightmare it is, honestly. I'm gonna have to take it to Bates's, my mate, Richard. He'll sort it me out. I think he can change it. I want it to into English time, proper time. I want AM at morning and PM past morning. I want that clock putting back in instead of this fucking 1802 and all that. I'm thinking it's 8 o'clock at night. Anyway, it's been a long day and I'm drained, absolute drained. I've got some fish fingers for tea and some wine and some bread, so I'm going to go and have that. Cheryl's having beans on toast. When I have beans on toast, Cheryl will tell you she has to cut toast up into little squares. So she cuts all bread up into toast up into little squares, then puts beans on top. That's how I have it, and I have it piled up like a little mountain. Well, a big mountain. You've got my stomach. My favourite meal, beans on toast. Love it. But tonight Cheryl's having beans on toast, and I'm getting bowler kick. I'm going to have fish finger sandwiches. I love it with salt and vinegar on. And chips and eggs, my favourite meal. I love chips and egg. And if I'm really getting bowler kick, I'll have chips, homemade chips, garden peas, and them squares of corned beef. My Uncle Dave used to have them when I was a kid. That was his favourite tea, and I love that. Got that off my Uncle Dave. My Uncle Dave's one of the nicest men that's ever walked this planet. Our Dave Reed. He's a fucking diamond. He brought me up as a kid, because my mum and dad didn't have no time for us. My dad had time for women and drink, and my mother had time for a sen. That's about it. That's all I've got to say about them two. So a bit of an orphan. My chicken legs, my brother Lickland, he what favourite, that comes had everything. Spoilt fucking rotten. My sister lived with me Nanan and me Aunt Annie, and I ended up with them two fucking nutters. But never mind. Another story. I'll tell you about how he tried to murder her one day. Went to prison for attempted murder. And then they said, what kind of childhood did you have, Michael? You know, some undertakers in Chevrolet. The girl each I'll give they had my childhood, I'm telling you. Bacon stamped sandwiches. That's a slice of dry bread. Bacon bubbling away in a frying pan. And then he'd take bacon and put it on bread. Put a dry slice of bread on top. Take dry slice of bread off at top. Take bacon off and put it back in pan for his sen, and you'd have stamp at bacon. Cut it in half, get it out for the tea, bacon stamp. And he'd have bacon because we're alcoholics, so you made him drink more. You can see why I go on these down spiral fucking times, can't you? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, mad. Anyway, I've had enough for today. I want to go home and just shut the world out. I've had enough. I've met some absolutely amazing families today. And now I'm going to go home and it'll be like rattling around in my head, wondering how they all are and how good a service we want to provide for them. So I'm going to say, because I have to say it, because you all fucking forget, don't you? Press like. What you've just seen, press that like. I want to see some likes. Subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment. Alright, and then I'm going through my beloved Woodthorpe now. God's own estate. If God come back to the planet, this is where he'd live. He'd come on Woodthorpe. It's a fucking brilliant place. Have a good night, everybody. Take care, and thanks for liking my channel.